Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, flexing after another killer workout, only to feel disappointed because your muscles look soft instead of dense and powerful? You crave that tight, popped look that says you've been putting in serious work. But instead, everything feels a bit squishy, lacking that firm density. You're doing all the right things on paper. Lifts are increasing, body weight is improving, fat is dropping off, your arms are even measuring bigger. Yet the overall physique stays kind of soft. Not quite lean and shredded, not skinny fat, but missing that hard, carved appearance you know you deserve from all the sweat. But wait, this is the shocking revelation that will change how you train forever. The immediate assumption is always that it's a training issue. So people double down, add more volume, chase heavier weights, or switch to the next fancy program. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal is what doctors are not telling you. The workouts aren't necessarily the problem at all. What's actually happening is a change in your body composition at the deepest level inside the muscle. You're building muscle tissue, yes, but you're also storing fat within the muscle fibers themselves. That's why you can appear bigger and stronger on the outside, but still look and feel softer without that coveted density. You know those guys who've been lifting for 20 or 30 years? They have that incredibly dense, granite-like muscle that just looks different. Compare that to the newbie who gains size but stays kind of puffy and soft. The difference isn't just time, it's what's happening inside at the cellular level. Prepare yourself, because the twist coming up will blow your mind and give you the tools to achieve that dense look yourself. This could be the key to not only better aesthetics but adding years of strength and health to your life. This is urgent breaking health news for anyone serious about their physique and longevity. Shocking new studies are exposing how everyday diet choices are sabotaging muscle quality. It's not about calories in versus out. It's about the quality of what you're eating and how it affects the muscle from the inside out. Experts like Peter Attia, who focuses on extending health span through optimal muscle function, are highlighting these exact issues. The hidden culprit: ultra-processed foods that most of us eat without thinking twice. This changes everything you thought you knew about health. Today's summary is clear and urgent. New data shows a direct link between high intake of ultra-processed foods and both lower muscle mass and higher fat storage inside muscles. Even if you're training hard and controlling calories, this can make your muscles look soft and less functional. The science is in, and it's time to act. Here are 5 shocking bombshells that nobody in the mainstream is telling you about muscle density. Bombshell number 1. In a large analysis from Frontiers in Nutrition involving over 10,000 people, those with the highest consumption of ultra-processed foods had approximately 60% greater risk of low muscle mass. This hits young and middle-aged lifters too, not just the elderly. Number 2, advanced MRI imaging from the Radiological Society of North America revealed that higher ultra-processed food intake is strongly associated with greater amounts of intramuscular fat, independent of total calorie consumption. But wait, it gets even more alarming. Number 3, the emulsifiers and additives in these foods damage your gut lining, causing inflammation that turns your muscle-building efforts against you. Number 4, chemicals like phthalates from food packaging are endocrine disruptors linked to higher rates of sarcopenia and poor muscle quality. Number 5, these dietary patterns gum up your mitochondria, forcing muscles to store fat instead of burning it for energy. You won't believe what happens next as we break down why this occurs and how to reverse it completely. Let's dive into the first core deep reason: how diet quality, not just quantity, dictates your muscle mass and appearance. Most lifters obsess over calories and macronutrients, thinking that as long as they're in a surplus or hitting protein targets, the muscle growth will handle itself. But a major study challenges that assumption head-on. Researchers examined data from thousands and compared muscle mass to the proportion of the diet coming from ultra-processed foods, things like packaged breads, breakfast cereals, soft drinks, protein bars, and ready-to-eat meals. The findings were crystal clear and linear. The higher the percentage of ultra-processed foods, the greater the risk of low or poor quality muscle mass. People in the highest category faced about a 60% increased risk. This isn't only an aging issue, it's happening across age groups. What this reveals is that the food environment surrounding your training stimulus is critical. Ultra-processed foods lack the dense nutrition needed for optimal protein synthesis. They displace leucine-rich whole proteins, omega-3 fatty acids, and key micronutrients. Your body's anabolic response becomes weaker. This is the secret big food doesn't want you to know, as it shifts the power back to choosing real food for real results. Imagine the dedicated lifter hitting PRs, but wondering why the mirror doesn't reflect the effort. This could be why, but stay with me because the story gets deeper with the actual tissue changes. The second core deep reason focuses on what's occurring inside the muscle when fat starts accumulating there instead of being burned. This is where things get truly mind-blowing. A newer study using sophisticated MRI technology looked directly at muscle tissue in several hundred participants. They correlated year-long dietary habits with the images. The result? Higher consumption of ultra-processed foods was independently associated with increased intramuscular fat deposition. This type of fat is particularly problematic. Unlike the fat under your skin, intramuscular fat interferes with the muscle's ability to contract properly. It reduces the density and the pop you want. It impairs glucose uptake into the cells, affecting energy production and recovery. You might be gaining size, but the quality is being sabotaged simultaneously. This explains the frustration perfectly. Your training is working for hypertrophy, but the internal environment is fighting against the dense look. Peter Attia often discusses how muscle quality is key for metabolic health and longevity, and this research backs that up powerfully. The cosmetic effect is soft muscles, but the functional impact is reduced strength expression and higher fatigue. This is what doctors are not telling you about why some physiques look impressive, while others fall flat despite similar work. Prepare yourself for the mechanisms because they explain exactly how it happens. The third core deep reason explores the multiple stacked pathways through which ultra-processed foods ruin muscle quality. It starts with nutrient displacement. You get less of the good stuff needed for growth and repair. Then comes the gut destruction. Specific emulsifiers such as polysorbate 80, carrageenan, and other additives increase intestinal permeability. This allows bacterial products to enter the bloodstream, triggering chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body. Inflammation shifts your physiology toward catabolism, breaking down muscle rather than building it. Even with adequate protein intake, the inflammatory markers blunt the response. On top of that, food packaging introduces phthalates and other chemicals that show up in urine tests. These act as endocrine disruptors, interfering with hormone balance, including testosterone signaling and elevating stress hormones like cortisol. They even affect how fat cells develop and where fat is stored. The final piece is the metabolic chaos from refined carbohydrates and low fiber. Insulin spikes repeatedly, leading to muscle insulin resistance. Mitochondria, the power plants of your cells, become less efficient. Fatty acids that should be oxidized for energy get stored as fat droplets inside the muscle. Picture your mitochondria as a clean, burning furnace. Ultra-processed foods are like pouring in wet logs and debris. The fire doesn't burn right, and residue builds up. The result is soft, less dense muscle. This whole process is the hidden danger sabotaging your results. You are learning the exclusive truth right now about why your hard work isn't translating visually. The fourth core deep reason is about how your training style interacts with this internal environment and what actually fixes it. Traditional heavy lifting and high volume are excellent for increasing muscle size, no doubt about that. But recent studies published in Experimental Physiology demonstrate that incorporating longer time under tension, including eccentric emphasis and sets taken close to failure, is particularly potent for reducing intramuscular fat. In comparisons, both heavy weights and body weight exercises built similar size, but the methods emphasizing metabolic stress and longer contractions significantly cleared out the internal fat. Why does this work? It ramps up the demand for fat oxidation and stimulates mitochondrial improvements. Practically speaking, you keep your main strength sessions with heavy lifts, but dedicate at least 1 or 2 workouts per week to controlled, longer sets where the muscle is under tension for 40 to 70 seconds. This isn't about endless burnout sets. It's strategic to restore the muscle's ability to burn fat and contract harder, giving you that tight, dense appearance. This approach is life-changing for physique goals. Now comes the main plot twist and the hidden strategy climax you've been waiting for. The genius move nobody saw coming that ties everything together into a powerful system for superior muscle quality. As Peter Attia stresses in his work on longevity, the focus must be on building resilient, high-functioning muscle tissue. The protocol is to optimize the entire cellular environment rather than chasing size alone. Start by maintaining heavy compound lifts for strength and hypertrophy. Then add the metabolic training with longer tension sets as described. Introduce short bursts of high-intensity interval training 1 or 2 times per week on separate days. Research from the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that even brief periods of HIIT enhance mitochondrial respiration and overall muscle protein quality. Your muscles become better at using fuel, less likely to store fat internally. Stay with me, because this is the part that will truly blow your mind. The synergy of these elements creates a powerful transformation at the cellular level. Imagine waking up one day and flexing in the mirror, seeing muscles that finally have that dense, carved look you've worked so hard for. No more soft and puffy. Instead, tight, powerful, and functional. Peter Attia has shown through his research that maintaining high-quality muscle mass is one of the best predictors of a long, healthy life. It improves insulin sensitivity, supports hormone production, and even helps with brain health by acting as a reservoir for amino acids. When you fix the intramuscular fat issue, you don't just look better, you perform better in every area of life. You have more energy, better recovery, and a body that resists the typical decline of aging. This hidden strategy of addressing diet quality, training for metabolic health, optimizing recovery, and supporting your gut is the missing link for 90% of lifters out there struggling with the same issue. The results speak for themselves in the science and in the real-world stories of people who have made the switch. You won't believe how quickly your body can respond when you give it the right signals instead of the processed junk that's been holding you back. This changes everything you thought you knew about health. The nutrition piece is non-negotiable. Drastically reduce ultra-processed foods to let your gut heal, hormones stabilize, and mitochondria thrive. Prioritize whole food proteins, nutrient-dense carbohydrates, and quality fats, including saturated fats from good sources like stearic acid in meat and dairy. This determines not just how many calories you consume, but where they go in your body. A critical but often overlooked component is gut health, which controls inflammation levels. If your gut is compromised, nutrients aren't absorbed well, and inflammation keeps you looking puffy and soft. This is where a high-quality symbiotic like Seed Daily Symbiotic makes a massive difference. It combines prebiotics and probiotics in a unique capsule-inside capsule system for multi-stage delivery. The bacteria can colonize effectively, backed by solid clinical research. It's the only probiotic I've consistently recommended because it addresses the root of inflammation that contributes to water retention, poor recovery, and soft muscle appearance. The link down in the description gives you 20% off. Get your gut right, and the rest follows. Finally, treat sleep as sacred. Studies and archives of biochemistry show that even a single night of restricted sleep elevates markers of poor fat oxidation. Sleep is when growth hormone peaks and cortisol is managed. It keeps the metabolic machinery running smoothly for dense muscle development. When you implement this full stack, the right training mix, pristine food quality, HIIT for mitochondria, gut support, and elite recovery, the environment for your muscle completely transforms. Quality follows. You develop that dense, hard look. Contractions feel stronger. The mirror finally matches the effort. This is the life-changing approach that delivers the physique and health you want. The future prediction is exciting. More people will focus on muscle quality for longevity, leading to stronger, healthier populations. Ignore it, and you'll stay stuck with soft results and potential health issues down the line. Adopt it, and watch your body change in profound ways. This one strategy could save your gains and add 10-15 years of vibrant life. But you must watch until the end and commit. Now for the powerful call to action. If this video resonated, comment below with your answers to these questions. Have you been fighting soft muscles despite consistent training? Which ultra-processed food do you need to cut back on most? Are you going to incorporate longer time under tension in your next workout? How will you improve your gut health and sleep after hearing this? What other questions do you have about achieving dense muscle? Share your thoughts. The discussion here is where real transformations start. Like this video if it opened your eyes to new possibilities, and subscribe for weekly breaking health news and deep analysis like this. Your dense, powerful physique awaits. Let's make it happen.